Good morning. Welcome to my cup of tea. This morning I would like to convince those of you who have not yet been won over to the wonders of poetry that it can actually mean something. And I'd like to do that by talking about some poetry that doesn't mean anything. Nonsense poetry. Nonsense poetry can be words that don't mean anything. Spike Milligan and Edward Lear respectively wrote about the ning nang nong where the cows go bong and about the pobble who has no toes. Or it can be words that do mean something, creating amusing, funny, nonsensical stories. Ogden Nash is a good example of this, who wrote about the wombat who lives across the seas among the far Antipodes. And in that couplet you can hear one of the main features of nonsense poetry, which is a strong regular metre and rhymes that stand out. The poem I want to share with you has neither of those features. It subverts the genre, even though the sentences quite clearly make no sense. It stretches the metre, it shifts the rhymes, and by doing so tells a story that is very real and very touching. The poem has no title. The poet, E. E. Cummings, eschewed the glory of titles just as he did the glory of capital letters, and so it is known just by its first line. Anyone lived in a pretty how town, with up so floating many bells down. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, he sang his didn't, he danced his did. Women and men, both little and small, cared for anyone not at all. They sowed their isn't and reaped their same. Sun, moon, stars, rain. Children guessed, but only a few, and down they forgot as up they grew. Autumn, winter, spring, summer, that no one loved him more by more. When by now, and tree by leaf, she laughed his joy and cried his grief. Bird by snow and stir by still, anyone's any was all to her. Someone's married their everyone's. They laughed their crying and did their dance. Sleep, wake, hope, and then they said their nothers and slept their dream. Stars, rain, sun, moon, but only the snow can begin to explain why children are apt to forget to remember, with up so floating many bells down. One day anyone died, I guess, and no one stooped to kiss his face. Busy folk buried them side by side, little by little, and was by was. All by all and deep by deep, more by more they dreamed their sleep. No one and anyone, earth by April, wish by spirit, and if by yes. Women and men, both dong and ding, summer, autumn, winter, spring, reaped their sowing, and went there came sun, moon, stars, rain.